For a long time, Led Zeppelin's mythical bassist, John Paul Jones, remained tight-lipped, approximately the man who defined rock drumming, John Bonham. But now, in a surprising revelation, Jones is breaking his silence. What changed into Bonham absolutely like at the back of the explosive drum solos and the wild, untamed strength? Was he the unstoppable pressure that held Zeppelin together, or the ticking time bomb that led to its crumble? Jones in the end unveils the fact. The highs, the struggles, and the untold moments that simplest he witnessed. Get prepared for an unprecedented, unfiltered look into the genius and chaos of John Bonham like in no way before. Few drummers in rock history have left as profound a mark as John Bonham. As the rhythmic backbone of Led Zeppelin, Bonham's thunderous drumming and technical prowess didn't simply drive the band's sound. They redefined what a drummer will be. With palms that hit like sledgehammers and FT that moved with device gun pace, Bonham, he was an unstoppable force. However, beyond his explosive performances on level, Bonham changed into also a deeply passionate musician, a dedicated family man, and, as John Paul Jones puts it, a taking walks earthquake with a coronary heart of gold. John Paul Jones, Zeppelin's bassist and keyboardist, has often been the quiet architect at the back of the band's sonic magic, overshadowed by means of the flamboyant swagger of Robert Plant and the mystical aura of Jimmy Page. But as Bonham's closest musical best friend within the rhythm segment, Jones knew the person in the back of the bombastic drum solos higher than most, and allows simply say, it become by no means uninteresting. Bonzo didn't simply play the drums, Jones lately shared, a wry smile creeping throughout his face. He attacked them like they owed him money. Indeed, Bonham's playing style wasn't just effective, it became bodily. He dealt with the drum package like a living, respiratory beast that needed to be tamed nightly. But notwithstanding his raw intensity, Jones recalls Bonham as someone who may be both fiercely loyal and actually hilarious. There was never a dull second with Bonzo. Jones continued. One time at some point of a recording session he determined he wanted idea. So clearly he sparked off a firecracker within the studio. The manufacturer almost had a heart attack, but Bonzo simply grinned and stated, "Now we're wakeful." Yet underneath the wild antics, Bonham was a perfectionist. His determination to drumming turned into unprecedented. He changed into in no way happy with simply being amazing. He desired to be the exceptional, Jones defined, and nicely, he become. Jones has remained particularly reserved about Bonham's passing. However, on this uncommon second of reflection, he stated the gaping hollow his friend left at the back of. We all knew he was special, however I do not think even he found out how an awful lot he modified tune forever, Jones stated, pausing. Then with a smirk he added, and what number of eardrums he destroyed along the manner. John Paul Jones and John Bonham first crossed paths inside the past-due 1960s when Jimmy Page turned into assembling the lineup for what would end up Led Zeppelin. At the time, Jones became already a nicely reputable consultation musician, acknowledged for his versatility and deep musical understanding. Bonham, on the other hand, was a raw, unpolished force of nature, a drummer whose sheer energy and instinctive groove without delay set him other than the competition. Jones recollects the moment he first played with Bonham as a revelation. From the first time we played together, I knew he became unique. He had this raw power, but also an amazing feel of groove. He wasn't just a loud drummer. He had finesse. He had swing. And that's what made Bonham extraordinary. While many rock drummers of the time relied merely on extent and aggression, Bonham delivered something greater. His playing changed into a fusion of thunderous beats and tricky technical precision. A stability rarely performed in rock song. He wasn't pretty much brute pressure. He changed into a grasp of dynamics, capable of transferring from whisper-gentle ghost notes to earth-shattering fills in the blink of a watch. Part of what made Bonham's style so specific changed into his deep appreciation for jazz. Unlike many of his rock contemporaries, he failed to just pay attention to blues and rock and roll. He studied jazz greats like Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa. Their have an effect on turned into obtrusive in his potential to swing, to play with an easy fluidity that made even the heaviest Zeppelin songs groove. Tracks like Good Times, Bad Times, and Fool Within the Rain exhibit this best marriage of power and subtlety, proving that Bonham wasn't only a rock drummer, he became a real innovator. Jones and Bonham Quick have become an inseparable rhythm section, their chemistry forming the spine of Led Zeppelin's groundbreaking sound. While Robert Plant and Jimmy Page commanded the highlight, Jones and Bonham had been the muse, locking into grooves that would shake stadiums. Looking again, Jones acknowledges that Bonham's talent changed into exceptional. He had this natural feel, this instinct that you simply cannot teach. He performed from the gut and you felt each unmarried hit. It changed into this uncommon mixture of technical talent, raw strength, and musical intuition that cemented Bonham's legacy, not just as Led Zeppelin's powerhouse drummer, but as one of the greatest to ever sit down in the back of a package. John Paul Jones has time and again emphasized that John Bonham wasn't pretty much velocity or volume. He had an innate experience that made Led Zeppelin's tune truly unique. While many drummers should play rapid or hit tough, Bonham had a nearly supernatural ability to make the track flow. John had a manner of creating the whole lot groove irrespective of how heavy it turned into. Good instances, horrific times, that bass drum work. It wasn't just about being speedy, it became approximately making the complete tune move. John Paul Jones. Indeed, accurate times. Bad Times changed into an early exhibit of Bonham's technical brilliance, especially his groundbreaking use of rapid hearth bass drum triplets. But as Jones factors out, it wasn't just about pace, it turned into about sense. Bonham's drumming failed to simply fill area, it drove the song forward with an infectious electricity that made even the heaviest Zeppelin songs swing. Take When the Levee Breaks, for example. That iconic cavernous drum sound. It's one of the most sampled beats in records, and for exact motive. The way Bonham controlled the tempo and dynamics made the beat experience widespread, as though the drums themselves were a force of nature. Similarly, Kashmir is predicated closely on Bonham's potential to make a sluggish, stomping rhythm feel huge. The beat is deceptively easy, but it includes the whole tune, creating a hypnotic, large-than-existence groove. Jones also recalls how Bonham's live performances showcased his exceptional musicianship. One of the quality examples, Moby Dick, the mythical drum solo that left audiences in awe. People think Moby Dick turned into just a showcase of his strength, however it was absolutely a grasp class in musicality. He by no means played the identical aspect 2 times. He became improvising, responding to the energy of the room. John Paul Jones. That changed into the magic of Bonham. He wasn't simply gambling the drums. He changed into speaking with them. He handled every overall performance like a dwelling, breathing thing, adapting and evolving his playing in real time. Jones firmly believes that Bonham's ability to govern dynamics, reply to the moment, and make even the heaviest beats groove is what genuinely set him apart. A lot of drummers can hit hard, but Bonzo made it experience suitable. That's why his gambling still resonates nowadays. Bonham wasn't just a drummer. He was a rhythmic architect, a master of groove, and the heartbeat of Led Zeppelin. His legacy endures no longer just in rock records, however in every drummer who strives to stability energy with experience. A terrific rhythm segment calls for extra than just technical ability. It demands a deep musical connection. For John Paul Jones and John Bonham, that connection was almost telepathic. From the instant they started out playing collectively, their chemistry changed into plain. We never had to talk a whole lot approximately what we have been going to do. It just happened. I ought to trade some things slightly inside the groove, and he might pick up on it immediately. John Paul Jones. This instinctive musical bond is clear in tracks like Rumble On and Dazed and Confused, where the bass and drums flow as one, results easily weaving Zeppelin's signature heavy but fluid sound. In Rumble On, Jones's melodic bass line dances round Bonham's dynamic syncopated drumming, growing a groove that feels both laid back and using on the identical time. Meanwhile, in Dazed and Confused, their interplay builds anxiety and launch, transferring seamlessly between atmospheric and explosive. This deep rhythmic synergy wasn't something that could learn. It turned into natural instinct, the result of 2 musicians perfectly attuned to every other. It changed into this unspoken musical understanding that helped shape Led Zeppelin's legendary sound making Jones and Bonham one of the finest rhythm sections in rock records. While John Bonham's drumming changed into larger-than-existence, his persona was just as intense.